Crispy, crunchy, deep fried shrimp rolls. Hi there, welcome back to my channel, Thai Caliente. Today we're gonna be making a recipe in Thai. It's called Goong Hom Pha, which translates to shrimp wrapped in a blanket. That's pretty much what we're gonna be doing. So we're gonna be taking whole shrimp, wrapping them up in a spring roll wrapper, and then deep frying them until they get nice and crispy. These are the same wrappers that I use for my Thai fried spring rolls as well as my fried cheese rolls. So you can even make an appetizer sampler of all three. If you wanna make them ahead, go ahead and roll them all up, freeze them, and then store them in a zip top bag, and then just fry them straight from frozen. So they make a great kind of weeknight appetizer, or if you're having a get together or party, they will be gone in no time, I promise. All right, you guys, the ingredients are super simple, so let's get started.
So these are the spring roll wrappers that I'm using. I find these in the freezer section at my local Asian grocery store. So they do come kind of stuck together and you need to carefully peel them apart. I'm also getting a clean kitchen towel. If the wrappers feel too dry, then you might need to get your towel slightly damp, or a damp paper towel, just so they can get some more moisture back into them. But once you peel them apart, you can see it's kind of like peeling two pieces of film apart from each other. Once they are all peeled apart, go ahead and keep them wrapped under your kitchen towel. And we're gonna make the glue, which is just all-purpose flour and a little bit of water. Keep mixing it until a smooth kind of glue forms. You can also do cornstarch and water, but either one of those should work. For the shrimp, I am using jumbo large shrimp. I've peeled them and deveined them, but I left the tails on. I highly recommend leaving the tails on so that way it's easier to grab when you're serving them. So I'm just seasoning them lightly with a little bit of salt and some white pepper. You can even do it without any seasoning and they'll still taste good, but a little bit of seasoning definitely helps bump up the flavor. Kind of give that a mix, and then I'm adding just a little bit more salt. So I forgot to mention, you want to make sure your shrimp is really dry. So I did pat it dry with a paper towel, and here I'm just kind of scoring the underside with my knife. I'm not cutting all the way through, but this allows the shrimp to lay more flat instead of curve. So you see, I'm just kind of making little quick incisions just along the backside of the shrimp. Now we are ready to make our shrimp in the blanket. So I have my flour and water mixture ready, and I'm gonna fold over the right side just so I can make a flat edge. Just makes it a little bit easier to roll. Bring up the bottom and the side, and you wanna make sure you get the roll as tight as possible. So add a little bit of our glue and ensure that there is a nice seal on there. Otherwise, you don't want these coming apart when we start frying. So I'll show you from the side. So again, make a flat edge on the right side, add your shrimp with the tail sticking out, fold over the bottom, the side, and then tightly roll it all the way up to the top and add your glue. You can also add a little bit on the outside of the edge too once you roll it all up, just so that way it has a nice seal. So I will show you guys one more time. Again, if you are using larger spring roll wrappers, it might be easier to cut them in half in a triangle form. Otherwise, if you use the whole large sheet, it might be a little bit too much spring roll wrapper. All right, so our shrimps are nice and snuggled in their blankets. You can see they all have a nice tight seal. You can either freeze them at this point and then fry them straight from frozen, or I'm actually just heating up my oil right now. So you want your oil to be at 350 degrees Fahrenheit. As soon as you drop one in, it should start cooking right away. I'm just using a small pot with some canola oil. If you have a deep fryer or a wok, you can use that too. I'm only adding 4 at a time because I don't want to overcrowd them. Flipping them over so that way the other side gets cooked too. So we want to remove the shrimp right when they start getting some color. We don't want to overcook it because then the shrimp's going to get rubbery. I just have a paper towel lined plate or you can do like a baking rack just so some of the oil can drip off. But I do want to mention that these are best served right away, so try not to cook them until you're ready to eat them, because then it can get kind of soggy, or you can just keep them warm in the oven. So you can see here the shrimp in a blanket have a nice golden color. You don't want to overcook them, but this right here is perfect, you guys. Okay, so I am finishing up cooking these shrimp rolls, and if you like, you can serve them with a homemade sweet chili sauce or plum sauce. I'm just using a bottled sweet chili sauce here that I picked up from the store, but you guys, look how beautiful these shrimp in a blanket look. Goong Hom Pha is how you say it in Thai, and it is just crispy perfection. So dip them with your sweet chili sauce, and you can see that here the fish or the shrimp is cooked perfectly. It's still nice and soft, definitely not overcooked. I promise you guys, if you make these, they will disappear. Be sure to leave me any comments below. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.